Dr. Armand Hale had always believed that every child had a voice. Some just hadn't found the courage to use it yet. On a quiet autumn morning, he arrived at St. Augustine Children's Hospital, unaware that this day would change everything he knew about his past and his future. He was reviewing patient charts when the emergency doors slid open and an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Rivera, hurried in holding the hand of a small boy. The child looked about 6, pale and frightened. His small fingers gripped a toy car so tightly his knuckles turned white. Mrs. Rivera explained that she had found the boy alone on the steps of her apartment building, silent and shivering. The boy wouldn't speak or explain anything. No name, no words, not even a whisper. Armand knelt down, lowering himself to the little boy's eye level. "Hey," he said softly, "you're safe here. We're going to help you." The boy blinked but said nothing. His eyes were deep and searching, as if he was trying to speak without moving his lips. Armand gently guided him to an exam room and began a routine checkup. There were no wounds, no signs of injury, only emotional distance. It was as though someone had stolen his ability to trust. Dr. Mira Collins peeked into the room. "New patient," she whispered. Armand nodded. "He won't talk. I don't know if he can or if he's just choosing not to." Mira frowned. "He looks like he's waiting for someone." Hours passed, and the boy continued to stay silent. But there was something familiar about him. Armand watched him draw absent little circles with his toy car, patterns he had seen before, memories tugging at something buried. A faint ache formed in his chest, the kind of feeling tied to a ghost from the past. When Dr. Mira returned with paperwork, she said, "We found something in his backpack, a photograph." She handed it to Armand. His heart stopped. It was a picture of a woman smiling at the camera, holding the little boy in her arms. Her eyes were the same soft brown he had memorized years ago. Ellie, Eleanor Brooks, his first love, the woman he lost without a goodbye. His breath trembled. The boy who wouldn't speak belonged to her. The photograph felt heavier than paper, like it carried years of unanswered questions. Armand stared at Ellie's face, frozen in time, and for a moment the hospital around him faded away. He remembered the way she used to laugh, the warmth of her hand in his, and the night she left town with only a note, explaining nothing. Mira noticed the change in his expression. "You know her?" she asked quietly. Armand swallowed hard. "Yes, I did. A long time ago." The little boy sat on the exam table, watching Armand with guarded eyes, as if sensing the shift in the air. Armand forced himself to speak gently. "Lucas," he said, using the name written on the back of the photo. "Is that your name?" The boy flinched but didn't deny it. He looked down at the floor and hugged the toy car closer. Armand felt an instinctive urge to protect him. He motioned for him to follow and brought him to a quieter room decorated with soft colors, toys, and books. It was a space meant for children who needed safety more than medicine. "You don't have to talk," Armand said. "I just want you to feel okay." Lucas sat cross-legged on the floor. Slowly, he began arranging toy blocks, not randomly but carefully, purposefully. He built a tiny house, added a lone figure beside it, then placed another figure farther away. The message was clear without words. Someone had been separated. Someone was missing. Before Armand could encourage him further, the hospital's entrance security called to say someone had arrived. Someone frantic, asking about a lost child. Armand's pulse quickened as he walked toward the front lobby. Ellie stood there. She looked older, stronger, but her eyes held the same softness he remembered. Her breath came in sharp, desperate bursts. "I'm looking for my son," she said. "His name is Lucas. He ran off this morning. I didn't know where else to look." Armand stepped into her view. She froze. Her voice fractured into silence, just like Lucas's. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Two people tangled in years of unfinished moments. "You," she whispered. "You're the doctor here?" He nodded. "And Lucas is safe. He's with me." Ellie's relief was immediate. But as soon as she reached Lucas, the boy clung to her and buried his face in her coat, trembling. She held him tightly, whispering apologies he still couldn't answer. Armin watched them, emotion twisting inside him. He wanted to be angry, but the hurt was old, shaped more by questions than blame. They sat in a quiet consultation room where Armin tried to maintain professionalism, but the past pressed in from every angle. "Why did he stop talking?" he finally asked. Ellie closed her eyes. "After his father left, he changed. He used to laugh all the time. Now he barely speaks. He's scared of losing people." "And you?" Armin asked before he could stop himself. "Why did you leave?" Her voice cracked. "I thought leaving would protect you. My life got complicated. I didn't want to pull you into it." Tears pooled in her eyes, but she blinked them back. "I didn't know how to come back." Lucas looked between them, sensing something unspoken. He reached out, touching Armin's sleeve. A silent question, a silent hope. Armin smiled softly. "It's okay. You're safe now." As the hours passed, Lucas warmed up little by little. Armin taught him how to listen to his own heartbeat with a stethoscope, and Lucas's fingers loosened from fear. For a moment, it felt like a family that might have existed in another life. Mira peeked in again. "Ellie," she said gently, "Lucas qualifies for communication therapy. We can help him, if you'll stay." Ellie hesitated. She looked at Armin, then at her son. For the first time, Lucas reached for Armin's hand on his own. Ellie whispered, almost afraid of hope, "Armin, would you help us? Not just as a doctor, but as someone who cares?" He took a breath, knowing this was the moment everything changed. "Yes," he said, "I will." Over the next few weeks, Lucas came to the hospital regularly. Slowly, his world opened. He still didn't speak, but he began humming when he walked. He held Armin's hand without fear. He let Ellie brush his hair back from his face. Healing didn't happen in a dramatic moment. It happened like dawn, slowly replacing the darkness. One rainy evening, Lucas sat in Armin's office with crayons, drawing on a sheet of paper. Ellie and Armin talked quietly by the window. "He smiles more," Ellie said. "He sleeps. That's something I didn't think we'd have again." Armin nodded. "He trusts you, and I think he's starting to trust me." There was a long pause. Ellie took a shaky breath. "I never stopped thinking about you. I know I don't deserve a place in your life after what happened, but I'm trying to make things right." Armin looked down at his hands, then at her. "I cared about you then. I care about you now. But trust has to be rebuilt, slowly, just like Lucas's voice." Before Ellie could answer, Lucas approached them with his drawing. Two adults and one child, all holding hands. Underneath, in shaky letters, he had written one word: home. Armand's chest tightened. It wasn't just a drawing. It was a question, an invitation. Ellie covered her mouth, tears falling. "Lucas," she whispered, "you spoke." Not in sound, but with something deeper. Armand knelt. "If you ever want to say it out loud, we'll be here. But you don't have to rush. We hear you, even in silence." Lucas looked at both of them, and for the first time, he whispered, barely audible, "Stay." Ellie broke. Armin pulled them close. The boy wasn't silent anymore. He had found his voice in the only place it had ever been safe, in the arms of the people who were willing to stay. And in that moment, without needing any promises, they became something new, a family.